Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox. Welcome back to the channel. All right, you guys, let's talk about the storms that have been ravaging the South, in particular Texas, and let's have a little bit of a Rona check-in. Not too many subjects, but a lot to talk about, you guys. Let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, before I get started, you guys, I'm stressed out. Work is stressful. It's a lot. It's tedious. I don't know what I'm doing, which makes it even more stressful. I'm sure as time goes on, I'll know what I'm doing, but I very much feel like I've been thrown in here, like the rest of everybody, I'm sure, that's working this team. And it has gotten my nerves so bad, so bad. So I didn't even really get to research much today, although I don't have to do much researching, considering the topic of this storm has been everywhere on the news. I have been watching, I have been seeing. The devastation that's going on in Texas is unbelievable. The fact that Texas is getting this snow dumped on them when everybody knows it does not snow in Texas, okay? Texas, very much like Georgia, probably even less than Georgia, very rarely gets snow. Definitely not to the extent that it has gotten. And of course we know that that is because of global warming, because of climate change. Our country, and actually our world, has been thrown into this sort of chaotic cycle of never before seen weather happenings that are just, people don't know how to deal with them. So Texas in particular, they had a snowstorm. From what I understand, there's a second snowstorm that's coming there today. And they just, you guys, it just cannot take it anymore. I've been seeing on the news that people are freezing. They have not had power for days and days and days. It's funny because last week, you know, a lot of people were telling me that they were snowed in because of Valentine's Day. The weather was bad. You know, they weren't able to get, I mean, not because of Valentine's Day, on Valentine's Day, because the weather was bad. They weren't able to get out. You know, they had been in the house. Now, that was last weekend. Here we are on Thursday, and people are still snowed in, still can't get out of their homes, with the inconvenience of having no power, no electricity, no heat, no water. Of course, Texas as a whole is not a winterized state. These people don't have to deal with having their infrastructure prepared for something like this. So when you have homes that were built and you have offices, buildings, stores, you know, when you have all of these places that have been built, nobody was prepared for the possibility of their pipes freezing, the possibility of their power being out for days on end. People don't have generators, you know, and even those who do have generators might be using them incorrectly. People don't have the clothes to properly, you know, make sure that they can at least stay warm inside of a cold home. They don't have these blankets. They're not prepared for this. So what do you do when your community as a whole is faced with something like this? You turn to your government. Well, the government in Texas has been slow responding. Listen, I understand that it's a storm, it's a natural disaster. You know, nobody can predict how these things will go. I mean, I understand that. However, we did know that a storm was coming. It seems like there would have been something in place for them to prepare in some small way. Not saying that they should have been 100% prepared, but it just doesn't seem like there was any type of precaution that was taken at all to help these millions of people that are without power, without water. I have been getting literally messages all week long, people telling me about what is going on in their home, in their neighborhood. I actually have some close friends out there who live in Houston and in Dallas, and thankfully my friends are, you know, have been, even though they have been on rolling blackout. So they haven't had electricity, you know, for 24 hours, and it'll come back on, then it'll go off. So they have been facing that. But for the most part, they haven't been suffering like many of the rock stars have been with no power. Of course, when you don't have power and you have all of your appliances plugged in, most notably your refrigerator, then that means your food goes bad. You can put your food out in the snow or, you know, whatever, but it's just a mess. I know from experience how frustrating, and I've been in the ice storm here in Atlanta. It did not last that long. Okay, we were in it for 2 or 3 days without power. We were without power for 2.5 days. And just in those 2 days, I'm telling you, I almost froze to death. I have never been that cold. It was so cold in the house. We were so unprepared. I didn't have gas in my car, because literally I would have gone and sat in my car and, you know, tried to warm up. But we didn't have gas in the car. You know, we from LA. We don't know these things. So we didn't have gas in the car. We didn't, you know, we had bought all this food to cook, but then the power went out. So it was like, what are we going to do with food that we can't cook? My house is all electric. We didn't have sandwich meat. I mean, we were so unprepared. So I know that people in Texas are probably going through this very same instance. When you don't have these things, you can't get out to get to them because you are snowed in. The roads are iced over. You can't get out. You know, I live on an incline, so I couldn't even pull out of my driveway. I didn't have a Jeep at the time. Couldn't even pull out of my driveway without, you know, I saw plenty of cars sliding down my street. And the same with what's going on in Texas. People are losing control of their cars. You see all these abandoned cars that have just slid off of the embankment and down into a ditch, into each other. They've had car pileups there. They've had, I think they said 30 dead so far, mostly because they're trying to warm themselves in their home. People had barbecue pits inside of their house, burning charcoal, dying of carbon monoxide poisoning, people sitting in their cars in the garage, the carbon monoxide gas overtaking them and killing them. We've seen people's pipes burst, water running down from the ceilings caving in, people losing everything. And it is just so frustrating to watch, because you wonder, where is the government? There's been a lot of blaming going around, the blame game for sure. Everybody seems to be talking about the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, ERCOT. Evidently, they are on their own separate power grid, separate from anybody else in the United States. All right. And the complaint is that ERCOT was not prepared. They have never tried to winterize their systems, even though they knew from some years back that there was a problem with that system. And if they were hit with very bad inclement weather, then something like this very much could happen. So the governor is blaming them. Of course, ERCOT is saying that it is not that simple. And, you know, everybody is trying to explain why this is happening, why it's not their fault. I'm sure that there will be some lawsuits that come about eventually, but, you know, in the thick of it, when you're in the middle of it, nobody really cares about that. Do something. Do something. I don't know how much can be done now that they are in the devastation, because, like I said, the roads are iced over. People cannot get out. People are stuck. And if you happen to live in a community where they are not turning on these lights, I saw the other night that the streetscape, like the cityscape, was all lit up. All of the sky-rise buildings down, like in downtown areas, that was all lit up. But then all the surrounding cities were completely black. You couldn't see anything. There was absolutely nothing. So people are in pitch black. Just for that to go on for days and days and days is just horrible. And the government has failed these people. I mean, I'm not part of government. So I don't know how I would say that this needs to be fixed, but that's why we pay you to be the government. Okay, that's why we pay our taxes. This is the reason why you have been put in place to make these type of decisions. When you sign on to be mayors and governors, and when you sign on to take care of a city, to oversee a city, then these are the times that matter. These are the times where you have to step up and take care of business. Now, Tim Boyd, he's the mayor of Colorado City. Tim Boyd is frustrated with his constituents, and he decided to put out a statement the other day. I'm gonna read it to you guys. Tell me how you would feel if you knew that your mayor felt this way. It says, "Let me hurt some feelings while I have a minute. No one owes you or your family anything, nor is it the local government's responsibility to support you during trying times like this. Sink or swim. It's your choice. The city and county, along with power providers or any other service, owes you nothing. I'm sick and tired of people looking for a damn handout. If you don't have electricity, you step up and come up with a game plan to keep your family warm and safe. If you have no water, you deal without, and you think outside the box to survive and supply water to your family. If you are sitting at home in the cold because you have no power and are sitting there waiting for someone to come rescue you because you're lazy, is direct result of your raising. Only the strong will survive and the weak will perish. Folks, God has given us the tools to support ourselves in times like this. This is sadly a product of a socialist government where they feed people to believe that the few will work and others will become dependent for handouts. Am I sorry that you have been dealing without electricity and water? Yes, but I'll be damned if I'm going to provide for anyone that is capable of doing it themselves. We have lost sight of those in need and those that take advantage of the system and meshed them into one group. Bottom line, quit crying and looking for a handout. Get off your ass and take care of your own family. Bottom line, don't be a part of the problem, be a part of the solution." Can you imagine if your mayor or your mayor decided to put out a statement like that? With all of the things that I just told you that the people in these different cities and counties and cities that are suffering, with all the things that I told you that they are facing, how would you feel if somebody put this statement out and they're supposed to be leading your city? A fucking kick in the mouth, right? How dare this man talk to these people like this? How do you expect people to get off their ass to do something if they cannot get out of their homes? Okay? They don't have snow plows. They don't have snow blowers. They don't know no chains on their cars. They are not prepared to get out and do. And then when they get out and do, what they supposed to do? If the stores have all had their food go bad because the generators are not keeping the stores open, if the stores are already wiped clean because people have already gone there and bought everything, what do you expect these people to do? People are dying in their fucking house because they are trying to keep warm and dying from carbon monoxide poisoning. Clearly, these people are trying to do something. I read that this morning and I was like, this has to be a joke. Now, somebody told me that this man actually ended up resigning. I would hope that he did after that, because I don't know anybody that can support him. Yes, people need to do for themselves when they can, but when there's clearly no option for them to do that, then yes, we do rely on our government to try to help us out. Okay, get some fucking power in these people's houses. All right, I don't know what they could do about the pipes bursting, because the pipes are just frozen over and there's nothing that we can do about that right now. The pipes are just freezing, okay? But these people need the electricity. I mean, I've read a lot of things that I'm not even sure is true. Something about the price of energy going up, people possibly having to spend exorbitant amounts of money on their energy once this is all over, because power companies are not going to be able to afford the energy there. I've heard so many things. Not sure what is true and what is not, but what I do know is true is that these people need help. I even saw that Ted Cruz went on a vacation to Cancun with his family, you know, with all of this going on. I guess that impeachment trial made him, you know, decide that he needed to go on vacation. It was just too much for him. While you've got all these people suffering, all right, and I know that he doesn't live in those communities where the power is out and the water is, you know, and there's no water and the pipes is busting. I'm sure he's probably just fine where he lives. But nobody likes to hear about somebody that they look to as their senator gone on vacation, and you know your people are suffering back there. Like, that's such a bad look. Somebody saw him and his wife getting on a plane for Cancun, so they took pictures. They're saying that they had planned on coming back on Ted Cruz had planned on coming back on Thursday, and somebody actually saw him trying to stand by, or at least his name was on a standby board for Thursday to come back to Texas. And you know, if you're on standby, that means that was not your original ticket. That means that you probably had planned on staying much longer, and you done got called out on your bullshit, and now you're trying to hurry your ass back up, okay? And ironically, that name was taken off of the standby list when people noticed that and took pictures of that as well. I think Ted Cruz's actual name is Rafael Cruz, and they had his name up on the board as that. But it pisses you off when you watch the videos of these people and the things that they're going through. It makes you even madder when you see people that are just like, oh, well, suck it up. Okay. You know, people have absolutely no sympathy or empathy for the things that these people are going through. I know folks in the north, you know, are used to this kind of weather. People in the south, we just not used to this. Okay, we just not used to this. I can deal with the cold. I can even deal with the snow, but the ice is the problem. And the snow that we've dealt with here in Atlanta has, at least as far as I've been here, has never been to the extent of what Texas is going through. And it's other states as well, surrounding states, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Mississippi. And, you know, not that they're getting snow like that, but they're getting very bad weather. South Carolina, North Carolina, going up the coast, the northeast coast up to the north. They're about to get another hit. They're saying 6 to 10 feet, I think they said, of snow. And just, so it's a lot. Okay. And, you know, I feel so bad for everybody that is going through this, because you just wish that you could do something, and there's really nothing that you can do. You're just sitting and watching these people suffer day after day. If they could just get some sun there. But with this weather continuing on to be, you know, storm after storm, and then freezing cold temperatures, the weather not getting warmer, it's just bad. So my heart goes out to all of my rock stars everywhere that are suffering through this bad weather. I hope that you guys, you know, you and your families, your friends, that you guys are able to stay warm and, you know, make it through. At this point, I just need everybody to just make it through. And, you know, when the dust settles and when the shit get the thawing back out, and, you know, everybody can get their bearings again, then we're going to talk about what needs to be done to hold people responsible, hold people accountable for making people go through this for days and days on end. If you are out in Texas in particular, but if you're in any state that is really going through with this bad weather, you guys let me know exactly, you know, what you're going through, what your experience has been, how you feel about the government in particular, who, you know, the help that has not been offered, that has not been given. We have had people, you know, nonprofits and Good Samaritans and people step up to try to help. But just tell me what you guys have been doing to try to cope Again, my prayers go out for everybody. I just really hope that everybody can make it through what's going on there safe and sound. This too shall pass, you guys. Probably not as quickly as we would like for it to be, but y'all just keep praying and God will keep you. So hold your head up, Texas. All right, you guys, it's time for a little bit of a Rona check-in. Let me give you some numbers. Right now, we have had 27.8 million cases of coronavirus since it started in March of last year. We've had 490,326 deaths. As of February 17th, on February 17th, we were reported 2,471 deaths. And on February 17th, they reported 70,176 cases. Now, the numbers are going down. I told you guys that the last couple of weeks, they're still looking like they're trending down. However, everybody is concerned about these variants. Okay, and we've been talking about these variants. Now they finally have said on the news that the variants are very concerning, and that by the end of March, they expect the UK variant to be the dominant variant or the dominant virus strain that's going through the United States. It's way more contagious, and some will say that it's more deadly. So they're trying to make sure that they get these vaccinations out, because the vaccinations do prove to they do help. Okay, we have Pfizer, we have Moderna, we have Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson, I don't think has been approved yet. If I think about it, I don't think Johnson & Johnson has been approved yet. As of now, we've had 12% of the country that has been vaccinated. I think they said 4.5% have had at least their first dosage. So it is slow moving. And I can tell you that this weather, they said that there was snow in, I think, 34 states yesterday. That was causing vaccination clinics to be shut down. People can't get to their appointments. It is freezing cold in many states. They have these clinics, many of them are outside. People can't be outside in that weather. So the weather has actually put a hold on the vaccinations. Now it's not so much whether or not the vaccinations have been created, made up, and sent out. Now the problem is the logistics of getting the vaccinations to the people. Okay, we just can't seem to get it done. So when Biden was doing his 100 days, his first 100 days plan, you know how they like to hurry up and jump on many of their goals. He was saying that most Americans will be inoculated by spring. Well, they have had to move that deadline, or they had to move that goal to the end of July. And I think that even that is probably a little bit ambitious, and it's feeling more like it's not going to be until the fall. It just seems like there's always these setbacks. You can see the glimmer of hope. We've got the vaccination, but it just seems like every week is just something. It's something. And the weather definitely is the something for this week, and probably for the next couple of weeks. I looked at my notes, you guys. I said Johnson & Johnson won't be out until the fall. The timeline is shifting, which makes things a little bit more frustrating. As far as the students in schools, the schools opening up, you guys know that they keep saying that students can go back to school and the teachers shouldn't have to worry about being vaccinated. I don't think that makes sense. If you've been watching the news or reading the paper, you know that there is children, there are some children that are falling ill from COVID-related virus. I don't think that it is considered COVID-19, but there is something that some children are catching, and it's making them very, very sick. Okay, it's a small percentage of kids, but still, it's there. So it's a small percentage right now, because I feel like anyway that it's probably a small percentage of children right now, because most of them are not in school. Once we start putting them all back in school, then there will probably be a larger percentage. Okay, and then that's something that will be more concerning. So if you put these kids back in class, even if the kids were safe enough and we didn't think that the kids were going to spread it to their teachers, the teachers are still amongst each other. So we have all these adults that are still congregating and things like that. Why can't we get them teachers their shots? Like, I just feel like they need to have shots. The teachers unions are really pushing for the teachers to be on the top of that list. I mean, if you're going to ask these people to go and risk their lives, okay, by sitting in a classroom, then the least you can do is get these people their vaccinations. So I'm 100% behind the fact that the teachers need to be vaccinated. It just makes no sense. I did have a rock star Kaiser doctor. Hey, shout out to my Kaiser doctors out there. Y'all do me good. I've been Kaiser baby, Kaiser all my life. That's all I know is Kaiser. But anyway, my Kaiser Rockstar doctor did reach out and say that Kaiser does have the vaccination. And I was just like, well, why they keep sending me emails saying they ain't got it? Even my father was not able to get his vaccination. My father was actually able to get a vaccination, but not through Kaiser, which is even his insurance. But so, I mean, maybe some states do have it. I know Georgia ain't one of them. Okay. And maybe California is not one of them either. But and California is a big time Kaiser state. I don't know Kaiser Dr. Rockstar where you are, but yeah, there still seems to be some problems getting that vaccination out. If it's not, you let me know where folks could go. I also want to put it out there that you guys, that these N95 masks that everybody is making a big deal about having, especially now that the CDC, that people should maybe double mask or make sure that they have like an N95 mask, which if you worn an N95 mask, you know that them bitches is thick as hell because you can barely breathe in it. Now news has come out that there are many counterfeit N95 masks, which bound to happen because niggas, and I'm not just saying black people, I'm just saying niggas in general, okay? Niggas can be any color, any race in my mind, okay? Because niggas is always going to find a way to come up and put out some shit that is subpar. And, so now we've got counterfeit N95 masks. And I think they just found a warehouse full of 10 million N95 masks. And you guys have to be aware that you can sell counterfeit shit on Amazon. A lot of people that sell on Amazon are just personal sellers. They're not big businesses that have to be responsible. And so you could end up buying that shit and it could be fake and not with the standards of what an N95 mask could be. You can even buy that on Amazon. So people need to be aware of that. Or if you have a real mask, there is a stamp on there. I think they said that the stamp is called a NIOSH stamp. NIOSH. All right. That's some sort of organization that qualifies something. Qualifies the mask. So you need to make sure that is on there. Right now, they found it in 12 states. They haven't said exactly which states it was, but they're out there circulating. So people, please don't be giving your money to some bullshit ass masks. And so, yeah, you guys, this Let's Talk About It has seemed to been, I'm trying to be informative, but it's also kind of depressing today. There ain't no good news out there, it seems, at least not this week. And I be trying to find a little glimmer of hope somewhere, but you guys, things feel pretty bleak. Okay. And I just, and it ain't even just the United States. When you look at other countries and the different things and the weather patterns, and you just be like, child, is at the end of days, it's just a mess everywhere. I don't want to be all doom and gloom, but I'm just trying to make sure that everybody knows what the situation is and move through their life appropriately. There's other stuff that's going on in the world right now, but these two things seem to be the most important, at least as far as I'm concerned, because all Americans cannot get around this coronavirus, and most Americans, or many Americans, cannot get around these storms. Like I said, my just prayers out to everybody, y'all. It's just fucked up, and now I got to go back to this job. I just had to hurry up and get this video done. Top of the blogs. I don't know when I'm gonna do it. Maybe I might do it tonight and have it ready for you guys tomorrow morning. No. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get this up. I don't know. This might not be up till Friday, and then top of the blogs will probably be up on Saturday. I don't know, you guys, but y'all just be patient with me while we work through this schedule. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm It's Rox. The channel is It's Rox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, rock stars. Bye.